Record myself. So we're gonna talk a lot about the large language model, but I've got some cool stuff about Perplexity. Those of you who've been on the call before knows that Perplexity is the AI/search tool that is very powerful, and a lot of people are seeming to prefer that to even ChatGPT or even Claude or something like that. Perplexity, very useful tools, and they've got some very cool features as well, which I'll show off a little bit towards the end. But let's get going, and I'll quickly talk to you about that's whatever's in the news. If you guys could just tell me, can you see the slide that said ROI from AI? Yeah, everybody can see that. Cool. So let's see. The first piece of news that I think, and the biggest one that's out there at the moment, is the introduction of Llama 3.1. And this is by Meta, of course. So Mark Zuckerberg and the guys have come out with this tool. Now, Llama has been out for a while, and it's always been sort of a smaller model, and hasn't really been competing with the big guys. But this is now finally the model where they believe they actually on par with ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini. And of course, the benefit of Llama is that it's a open source model. So people said this is the, Meta at least believes that's the way to go. That's what the future is going to be. It's going to be open source models. It's got 3 different models. It's got an 8 billion terabytes or whatever, sorry, capacity, a 70 and a 405 as well. So that's the big news from Meta. So you can try Llama by just going to meta.ai, and you can go see how good it is. And the big thing about open source, of course, is these models of Llama is free. So it's free for us as users, but it's also free for developers to build their tools on top of the Llama stack, if you will. So the benefits is that you can actually improve on the model as well, because the source is being shared with the whole world. So the only thing that's obviously not shared is the actual data that they shared, that they train the models on. So until today, open source large language models has mostly trailed behind their closed counterparts when it comes to capabilities and performance. Now we're ushering a new era with open source leading the way. We're publicly releasing Meta Llama 3.1 405B, which we believe is the world's largest and most capable openly available foundational model. With more than 300 million total downloads, we're just getting started. So obviously the benefit that Meta has, they got a massive following, or a massive subscriber base of people on Facebook, WhatsApp, as well as Instagram. So for them to release models, it's quite easy to get traction in terms of a subscription. So if the comparison they do is just on a whole bunch of benchmarks, and I won't go to bore you too much with all the benchmarks, but they're showing that they compete with GPT-4, GPT-4 Omni, and Claude 3.5 Sonnet. And you can see, and for an open source model, that actually beats some of these closed source models in a lot of the evaluations. And then if you compare it against the smaller ones like GPT 3.5, obviously it's going to be better than those. So it's exciting what Llama is doing, and I think the game that they're playing, so they talk here about developers can fully customize the models for their needs and application, train on new data sets, and conduct additional fine-tuning. Now, fine-tuning basically means you can take the model and the way it's trained, and you can add your additional company data to it and fine-tune it to the specific knowledge base that you have, so that it serves your needs better than anything else. So, and then the other thing that Mark Zuckerberg said is that open source will ensure that more people around the world have access to the benefits and the opportunities of AI, and that power isn't concentrated in the hands of a small few, and that the technology can be deployed even more evenly and safely. So he's obviously talking about people like in a closed system like ChatGPT or OpenAI for that matter. So obviously having a dig against them. So yeah, a very, very interesting development in terms of Llama being launched. I just wanted to also just make a couple of points about Llama that I thought about, is that open source allows organizations to train and fine-tune models with specific needs without getting locked into vendors or exposing sensitive data to third-party companies and servers. So what that means is, we often get people asking questions, how safe is my data? Can I share my company's data with these large language models, and what are they going to do with it? Are they going to train? So with the open source, that obviously takes that out of the equation, because you can run them on your own systems. The large language model, you can run Llama on your own systems and not having to share sensitive data with third-party companies. And then the scary part is that Llama says, as impressive as the 405B model is, it's just the beginning. So there's probably going to be bigger models coming out in the next few months, or maybe let's give them 12 months or so. Meta has plans to dramatically expand AI infrastructure, aiming to compute power equivalent to 600,000 GPUs by the end of 2024. So just in terms of money, they plan to spend another $18 billion on just the chips alone. So that's not even the data and everything that they're going to be tracked, but just on the chips alone. So it's mind-boggling sort of money that these guys are talking about. The arms race isn't limited to Meta. OpenAI, Google, and X are all working on new models. By open sourcing with such a powerful model, Meta is essentially trying to commoditize the frontier model market, undercutting revenue streams for companies like OpenAI and Anthropic. So OpenAI, Anthropic, and those people charge $20 a month for the use of their models, and that's where a lot of their revenue comes from. Meta is going to give it away for free. So basically, they're commoditizing the market. So people are going to say, well, why do I need to pay OpenAI for this if I can get the same, if not better, from Meta as when they bring out this Llama model? And unlike those companies which rely on selling the models to generate, Meta doesn't rely on selling AI models. They're just going to feed it as sort of a value-added service to people who use Facebook and who use Instagram. Instead, they can infuse AI into their already platforms used by billions of people. And then they're talking about their Ray-Ban wearable smart glasses that they are focusing on a lot. So you guys who like the 3D thing, watch those 3D goggles. And I had one about a couple of years ago, the Oculus thing that you put on to watch all the 3D movement and stuff. That's where Meta started, but now it's gone to the Ray-Ban wearable smart glasses, which looks a lot cooler, and that's going to basically augment reality. So you're going to be able to infuse AI and everything around you. You're going to get information about things around you using the Ray-Ban wearable smart glasses. Has anybody tried out Meta, or have got an opinion about Meta AI? Yes, Mr. Pillay.
So I don't know what your view is, Quentin, but I mean, they have the saying that says, if you're not paying for the product, then you're the product. And so even though they are, it's open source and they say you can localize storage and processing,
yes,
the amount of cost to run a competitive large language model or even small language model is a massive amount of money.
Correct.
And so I don't know whether they are signing up users now and then later on create a pay gate, or whether they're using that data to then sell to third parties. So data is the commodity. And so I in my mind, I'd much rather pay for a platform, because then I know they're not going to try and get money in ways that I don't know about.
Yeah.
I know that they're getting money in a certain way. Whereas with Meta now, you don't know how they're using it to optimize their advertising searches, because they make most of their money from advertising. What's
Correct.
your view? Do you think it's sustainable to have an open source platform, and do you think it'll spread? Do you think a generative AI will be free?
Yeah, well, I think that is the vision that Mark Zuckerberg has got, is that he wants to dominate this space. So he can literally, he can outlast a lot of those other companies that their only source of revenue for ChatGPT or OpenAI is their subscription model. So he can outlast them and then play the long-term game where you know, if he can be the only player in the market at some point. And as I say, he's got the benefit of the huge subscriber base, you know, billions of people on Facebook and Instagram, and he's got other revenue sources. So I do think he's legitimately they're going to stay on the open source model. They could say diversify a little bit, say maybe bring out specific tools or stuff built on the open source models, but maybe you know, serving specific purposes. So that could be another direction to go. But I think, like for instance, the Ray-Ban thing, they definitely stepped they ahead of the game in terms of bringing augmented reality. Because remember, Mark Zuckerberg started with the metaverse, and that was his big vision before AI really came into things. So now he's got the opportunity to bring the metaverse and AI and the social media world all into one place and rule the world. So that's all he wants, I think, is to rule the world. So yeah, that's my opinion, Nish. I don't know if anybody else has got any sort of views on what Meta is up to.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Gary, your microphone is very soft again. I think
that's
you
okay.
need to get yourself a new microphone.
Listen now. I think, yeah, it's like we in paid media, and everything's about building a profile around the audience. So obviously, Google and Facebook are wanting more and more information about the customer. So all they're doing is giving it to you. You are the commodity, like Nish says. And because we set bidding strategies, we set audiences, the more we know about the audience, the better we can target ads. So
Yeah,
obviously he's doing it to get your information. So the privacy rules will be very different with a free open source one, where if you do a paid one, you'll have better privacy rules, you'll have better, like YouTube, you can have a premium where you don't get ads. They're going to obviously have premiums built around it. So yeah, if you want to do free, it's fine. But if you're not worried about privacy, then it's also fine. So that's the model, absolutely, because we able to target more and more closely on audience and actual profiles of people. So we see that all the time getting bigger and bigger as we go along. So it's actually helping us to target people in different demographics, different areas. So yeah, I think it's, but just one thing I want to ask you, it's this AI, it's all built into WhatsApp, it's all built in. It's not like a separate platform. So this Meta Llama, we found it on these platforms already. Is that correct?
it is built into the platforms, but you can go to meta.ai and use it as if you would use ChatGPT or one of those models and just view it as is. Nish?
Because I haven't seen the market, they're not marketing that. They're not saying go here or go there. They're just saying
yeah, it's basically in the press release they say go and view it there. So you can get it there, but they're not really marketing it as such. Nish?
Yeah, I was just saying, I think the model they use on their social media is different from Llama 3.1. So as an example, if you test out Meta's AI on WhatsApp to generate an image, it'll be a very different quality image and a very different processing of that image than it would be if you used Llama 3.1. So I think they use different small language models for WhatsApp, and then they also got one for Instagram. And
Yes.
I think like, I mean, one of the use cases that I read about, Quentin, would be, for instance, they're trying to find a way to push advertising to WhatsApp. And so what they might do is, without directly advertising, if you use Meta to say, hey, how do I make this recipe with these ingredients? It might advertise to you a special at Pick and Pay for one of those ingredients. And so they training the language models different on WhatsApp, different to Instagram, and different to, for instance, commercial uses like 3.1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this goes because I've got some other news as well. Oh, by the way, I forgot, Gary, you can actually go into Perplexity as well. And if you look at the model you want to use, remember Perplexity is an aggregator.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the Llama 3.1 is built in there now as well. So if you want to go and use it via Perplexity, you can do so. So
And there's no paid versions at all.
say again?
There's no paid models at all for Llama 3.1. It's all free.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's another platform called Grok with a Q, not Elon Musk's Grok with a K, where you can also access Meta for free. And then at the same time, Mistral has been fairly quiet. It's been always been sort of the small European little large language model that's come out a while ago, French one at that. Now they're saying they've got one that's large enough, and that basically we are announcing Mistral Large to the new generation of our flagship model. Compared to its predecessor, Mistral is significantly more capable in code generation, mathematics, and reasoning. It's also much stronger in multi-language support. So again, if you want to go try out Mistral, it's actually not under the name Mistral. By the way, if you go look at the launch page,
there's no harm in that for a second content. I know we have more students.
Somebody's talking to me. Okay, there we go. And then, so if you look at the large, or them comparing themselves, you'll see that on a lot of these evaluations, Mistral reckons that they are bigger than GPT-4o, Claude 3.5, or performing better, well, on a par with some of these, not so much on the others. Then I just wanted to show you where you can go play with this one if you want. It's got a French name. It's called La Plateforme. Of those of you who can speak French, help me with the pronunciation there. So yeah, you can go try out Mistral's large language model, or you can just go to Hugging Face and go play with it on Hugging Face. So that's Mistral that's come out with a new model. And then Apple as well has come out with a new model, and they specifically say they outperform Mistral and Hugging Space's offerings. So Apple has got new models coming out as well. So everybody's joining the race, and everybody's saying they're better than the other guys. I think in the long run, it's probably good for us as the consumers or the users, because these models are just going to get better and hopefully also cheaper to use. Yes, Nish.
I got lots of questions today, Quentin. Q, I mean, is there a standardized metric for performance? Because, it's marketing hype.
Yeah.
All of these language models are going to come out saying, we're better at this, or we're better than that. But I've seen like 20 different metrics, and then I've seen 10, and then I've seen 5. Is there an independent kind of body that has mandated a standard set of metrics for performance measurement?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. There are websites, and I just want to see if I included a slide today. I did not. There was another one that actually has standardized measures, and that they not only measure it, but they also have consumers' viewpoints in terms of usage and that sort of stuff, where you can upvote or downvote a model. I'll get to the name a little bit later if I don't, just remind me again, and I can help you just find that one to where it is. So the short answer is yes, there are websites that literally this is their their jobs is comparing large language models. Okay. And then, not to be outdone, Gemini has brought out 1.5 Flash. So it's again, it's a smaller model, but smaller doesn't always, mean it's worse or something. You don't always want the bigger model, because smaller means that you get faster responses and you get better access. But you can now access 1.5 Flash in an unpaid version of Gemini for faster and more helpful responses. Plus, we're introducing a new feature that addresses hallucinations and expanding our Gemini Teens experience on mobile. So this is what Gemini is doing. We're also displaying links that to related content for fact-seeking prompts in Gemini. Continue our work to reduce hallucinations. So you could just, if you're doing a search on Gemini and Flash, you'll see that there's a little chip at the end of a paragraph to see websites where you can dive deeper on certain topics. So it's basically what, if you know Perplexity by now, where they've got citations where you can click on a link that will take you to the source, which is quite useful to have for you to fact check these big models. So basically, if you're going to be searching how do Venus flytraps work, it'll have that little chip at the end of the paragraph, which you can click on, and then it will show you the sources that you can go to. So making it a little bit more reliable in terms of that your sources are accurate. Okay, so that's Gemini as well. So OpenAI has brought out GPT-4 Mini, again, a smaller model in order to make it faster. And also Mini is going to allow you to fine-tune a little bit more. So I think that's quite useful. The fine-tuning, by the way, is not something that you would do on the usual, say, ChatGPT platform. You would have to go into the OpenAI playground, which is OpenAI's website, and go into the model there and do your fine-tuning there. But I'm not going to get into too much technical details about that. But again, the smaller models is just for speed and agility. You don't always need for your queries. You don't need to ask this big monster that is ChatGPT about something that is really just a simple query or something like that. So sometimes that's what the purpose that these models would serve. And a big announcement from ChatGPT is that they're now jumping into search as well. So they're going to give Google a run for their money. So if you go to OpenAI's website and you go to the search section on search, you'll see there you can join the wait list. So not everybody's got it yet. And it's quite interesting that ChatGPT or OpenAI is getting into this now as well, but which is obviously going to allow, that's always been a problem with ChatGPT, that it's been trained on data that is outdated, and that it's all, now it's going to be current data that you can go and search on. So if you just go in there and click on join the wait list, I believe some people have already been given access, but the select few, so you can get quick answers from Search GPT, and then you can do real-time information from relevant sources. It gives you links to where you want to go, and then you can also ask follow-up questions. Actually, the one thing that is quite interesting, and I can't remember which video it was, is that the search. Oh, this is it. Yeah, if you look at it, when you ask for a question, it'll give you the answer in the main window, but on the side, it gives you the links. So where Google gives you the links in the main section and a little bit at the top, you can now click on the links. Let me see, I'm not sure coming up there. So if you, let me see if this one gives you, you could actually just click a button on the side, this little link icon there, and I think it's going to do it now. Yeah, it shows you the main answer in the main section, and then you can slide over to the left there, click that, and that's where your links are going to be. So the blue links is not dominating the whole page. It's actually just on the side, but it's good to have them there. So you have the option to to do sort of regular old-fashioned search. So interesting stuff again. Any more questions on this, or should I just keep going? Because there's so much. I can't believe all of this has come out like literally in a space of a week or so. But I suppose that's we've grown accustomed to that with OpenAI. Then Bing has also gone to sort of a different layout, Bing's search, and where you can get your main results on the side, but the usual list of search results now go to this side. So almost similar to what ChatGPT did. Now, you remember a little while ago, we talked, or ChatGPT had this big launch about the hyper-realistic voice that users can use, and we never saw anything again. I think it was about 2 or 3 months ago, and in the world of AI, that's a lifetime, and everyone's saying, we know that ChatGPT or OpenAI got into trouble because they used people's voices without their permission and things like that. But they've now actually finally started giving some people access to this. And just to remind you again, this was what it did. Actually, I just want to make sure that we've got the right. I'm doing the right kind of sharing, yeah. Let me share the sound and try again. Yep. All right, so let's listen to this is what the hyper-realistic voice can do.
Hey, ChatGPT.
Hey there, what's up? How can I brighten your day today?
Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna show you a selfie of what I look like, and then I'd like you to try to see what emotions I'm feeling based on how I'm looking.
Sounds like a fun challenge. Go ahead and show me that selfie, and I'll put my emotional detective hat on.
Okay, so here's me. So what kind of emotions do you think I'm feeling?
It seems like I'm looking at a picture of a wooden surface.
Oh, you know what? That was the thing I sent you before. Don't worry, I'm not actually a table. Okay, so take another look.
That makes more sense. There we go. It looks like you're feeling pretty happy and cheerful, with a big smile and maybe even a touch of excitement. Whatever's going on, it seems like you're in a great mood. Care to share the source of those good vibes?
Yeah, no, the reason I'm in a really good mood is because we were doing a presentation showcasing how useful and amazing you are.
Oh, stop it. You're...
Okay, so pretty awkward there. Well, I don't know, it's kind of weird, I suppose, for me to hear the chatbot speaking to a human in that way. But if you start thinking about practical use cases, this is the guy from Khan Academy and his son. And
OpenAI.
How do you use this for education?
I'm here with my son, and I'd love you to tutor him on this math problem, but don't give him the answer. You can ask questions and nudge him in the right direction, but I really want to make sure he understands it himself. And he's here in the room, so you can talk to him directly.
Of course, I'd be happy to help. Let's look at the problem together. Can you first identify which sides of the triangle are the opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse relative to angle alpha?
All right, so I'm pretty sure this is the angle alpha right here, right?
Perfect. That's correct. Now, looking at the triangle, which side do you think is the hypotenuse?
Really,
Remember the hypotenuse?
I'm not totally sure. I think it might be this one, but I really am not sure. This side AC.
You're close. Actually, side AC is called the adjacent side to the angle alpha. The hypotenuse is the longest side of a right triangle and is...
So I'm just going to stop it there. That's pretty impressive, I think, again. And the use case here is phenomenal if you think about the application in terms of education. So Lauren, I hope you managed to see that, even though you were driving. Otherwise, I'll send you the link to this video. It's pretty cool to see this, how the AI can be helpful in that case. And then it's sort of a real business case and actually helping you with coding.
So let me take out...
So let me jump forward here.
Hey, ChatGPT.
Hey there, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going really well. I was wondering if you could help me with a coding problem today.
Of course, I'd love to help you out. What's the coding problem you're dealing with?
Okay, I'm going to share with you some code. 1 second.
Sure thing. Take your time.
Okay, so I just shared some code with you. Could you give me a really brief one-sentence description of what's going on in the code?
This code fetches daily weather data for a specific location and time period, smooths the temperature data using a rolling average, annotates a significant weather event on the resulting plot, and then displays the plot with the average, minimum, and maximum temperatures over the year.
Awesome, thanks so much. And in the code, there's this function foo. Can you describe to me what the plot would look like if I had versus didn't have this function?
Sure. The function foo xy takes in a data frame x.
So very interesting. I think some IT guys and developers are going to have to, develop a personality so that they can actually chat to the bot on this. But yeah, it's very impressive. If you look at this chart, for instance.
Okay, ChatGPT. I'm sharing with you the plot now. I'm wondering if you can give me a really brief one-sentence overview of what you see.
The plot displays smoothed average, minimum, and maximum temperatures throughout 2018, with a notable annotation marking a big rainfall event in late September.
Fantastic. I have another question for you.
So there we go. I think it's incredible, and I'm quite keen and excited. I can't wait for this to actually come out. Now, you guys might know I said that I actually switched off my paid version of ChatGPT a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month or so, because on GPT 4.0 you get a lot of the stuff for free anyway. But however, this voice model is only going to be on the paid version, so it might just persuade me to go back onto the paid version. So very cool on that. Are there any comments? Anybody that's maybe been given the voice, ChatGPT voice yet? Yes, Nish.
So Quentin, what I did was I had the paid version, and then I installed the Mac because it was only for Mac. So there's a Mac desktop version.
Oh, yeah.
So I then installed the desktop version on Mac. I was disappointed. It's actually why I stopped my paid subscription, because I tried to use the voice, so exactly the same button, etc., and it wouldn't connect to the server.
Oh my word.
So I've got the standard GPT you get for free on your mobile phone,
Right.
that has that kind of robotic voice a little bit.
Okay.
This particular real voice with emotions, etc., that you can have a conversation, I tried with the paid account on my Mac, and for some, I don't know whether it's because it's South Africa and I've got a 200 meg line, so it couldn't have been the connection, but I couldn't get it to work on my Mac desktop app.
Okay. Yeah, it might still be early days. I think it was literally yesterday or today that this came out, that some people have been getting it. So maybe you're in line, Nish. Maybe you'll get it before any one of us. Okay, and then not to be outdone, Elon Musk has said that Grok 3.0 will be the most powerful AI in the world, and we're hoping to release it by December. So more to come from that. Just on, so moving away from the large language models, you guys know about 11 Labs is the best speech text to voice kind of generator. And they've now added a function that can detect whether an audio clip was created by 11 Labs. So if you hear something online that sounds a bit suspect, and you're not quite sure whether that politician made that speech or whatever, you can always go to 11 Labs and upload it. And you can actually, it's a free sort of upload testing sort of thing, and then you can go check it out there. And then Kling AI, which I've never heard about, but they brought out now a video generator that takes on OpenAI Sora. Now, Sora is another thing that OpenAI sort of launched a couple of months ago, and said this is it was going to, and showed all these fantastic demos and crazy things that you can do with Sora. It's basically creating Hollywood movies almost. And now there's the competition is starting to come into the market, because Sora is a little bit slow in coming out. So that's what's happening there. For those of you who love Canva, and I know there's a couple of you on this call, Canva has just bought Leonardo AI. Now, Leonardo AI is an image generator that's been around since the beginning. I jumped onto Leonardo AI quite early because Midjourney was quite expensive, and Midjourney had this thing that you have to go, they didn't have a user interface. You had to generate the stuff through chat and stuff, and Leonardo actually had a proper user interface. Leonardo is a great tool, and they've developed a lot. Now Canva's bought them, so I think what's going to happen is Canva will always obviously use all the functionality all over Canva where you need special designs, but Leonardo is still going to be around as a standalone platform as well for now. Right, good. So all of that was just news. I suppose it's an update on some stuff as well. So because we're sort of running out of time, I'm quickly just going to update you on some tools. And again, the history of everything that we've gone through. By the way, if you want to go back to some of these videos that we've covered some of these topics in the past, I've got it on my website now, and it's basically a membership website where you can join ROI from AI on the website. It's called ROIfromai.biz. And you can just join it there and then watch all of these videos. You get some other benefits and stuff on there as well. So I'm going to talk about Perplexity pages and projects. And then if we've got time, we'll look at WebSim as well, which I don't think we will. I think we'll just look at Perplexity. So Perplexity is really cool. For those of you who haven't heard of Perplexity, it's basically it's AI search or search with AI, and it's sort of a combination of the two. They've got a free version, but they've also got a paid version. So you have to decide whether you're going to be on ChatGPT or Claude or both. If you got the money, that's fine. But they've got this feature called Pages. So if you're on the left-hand side, click on the library, a button called Page will come up, and you can create a page literally about anything. So for those of you, guys like Gary, your SEO stuff and creating websites for clients or blogs or those sort of things, you can now literally create a page within Perplexity that you can publish that also will draw, if you use it with the right keywords and stuff, will draw an audience and people can go and see it. And it actually comes up on Google search as well. So for instance, this example is creating a page on an e-bike, and you can set it for beginners or experts or whatever it is that you want to do. And it literally creates the image at the top, and Perplexity searches the internet for sources on this topic and starts writing this page for you instantly, and it creates different sections, and you can play around with it. Now, if you, for instance, don't like the image that it's created at the top, you can just go and change it. You can go click on it and say, okay, I want a different image. I want to generate a new image with AI, or I'll just find something on the internet and that Perplexity found, and you can bring that into your page, and then you can change the headers. You've got some editing functions that you can do. You can't type into it. You can't rewrite, but you could basically just change the sources. So if you look at the sources for this particular paragraph, and maybe you don't like it, you could just go delete the paragraph, or you want to add in a new paragraph about a different topic, you can always do that. Or you can, just go change the sources. So for instance, you can say edit, and you can highlight a section or a paragraph, and you can just tell it to rewrite that paragraph in a more concise fashion. So let's say you want to highlight that, and it's rewriting it for you, and it's just giving it into maybe a format that you like better about. If you want to add a section, you just type in what the section must be about, and that one was about Reddit user impressions, and that will come up on your page as well, where it's going to go look at Reddit and then bring that information across into your page. And that's basically this page now. Again, if you do proper SEO research, you can stack this thing with keywords and that type of stuff as well. And then you can publish it. You can copy a link and then send it to everybody or promote that link, or you can publish it to, or share it on Facebook or wherever else your audience is. So I think this is probably quite a useful functionality, and again, it's a different type of thing that we're not used to with other AI models. So that's Pages. Any question on Pages? Perplexity Pages. What do you think of this one, Gary? You're on mute, Gary.
Sorry. I think the search is something we have to, because is there going to be paid search? I know it's a search engine, but if you look at Perplexity and the aggregation of everything, I think it's something we need to learn more about. But I'm just thinking if anyone's going to bring search out with AI, is it going to be a paid version?
No, I don't think so. Like the ChatGPT one that I showed earlier, it's not. It's going to be part of the free ChatGPT.
No, but if you're an advertiser, if you're an advertiser, Clinton, like if I want to do my clients and I want to put your content on the search engine, I mean, I don't see that happening for a while. So
well, what I saw somebody do is actually write this page with SEO optimized, and then go to Google and search about that topic, and that this page would actually come up as one of the first links on Google. So that's what I meant by you know, it'll be, and then I'm assuming it'll find its own articles as well if you do it within ChatGPT, within Perplexity. So another functionality, oh, this is the one.
There's one thing on Perplexity, Clinton, you told us about POE with Poe last time. Remember that one? That's also an aggregator. Are you saying Perplexity is the leader, or are other ones catching it?
Yeah, no, they've got different functionalities, Gary. Perplexity, like I said, has got that search function. It's got Pages, and it's got an organizing functionality. Poe was, again, just an aggregator, and it allowed you to build small assistants and that sort of stuff. So kind of a different focus that these companies have. Poe is free for now, so you know, you can, it's quite useful on that stage. But Perplexity, I think Perplexity is, in terms of if you're going to be doing research, but like serious research, not just you know, sort of short questions. Actually, I'll show you a search examples, whereas what Perplexity have got is they got advanced search and then quick search. So for instance, or this pro search actually. So if, for instance, you ask a question like this one, plan a 1-hour visit to the National Gallery of London, including special exhibits. So you switch on the pro search, then it will actually work through all the questions and look at different sources that it can find, and do a much more elaborate answer than what you would get. So for instance, here it found general information, it identified special exhibits, it planned in 1 hour. So it does it sort of systematically give you the answer and the sources and everything else. So very useful in terms of research, and then you can you know, ask it as let me just go to a better question. For instance, this one is to determine a square solar panel array of powering the entire United States. So then it goes to look at total power consumption, solar panel efficiency, and then calculates it. So it's like a systematic approach, as opposed to just a one answer, you know, quick answer type thing that we often do when we search. So I quickly want to just finish off with projects. It's another thing that you can do I'm confusing the two now. This is in Claude now, not in Perplexity, but in Claude you can actually create projects. And basically what it is, it's similar to GPTs in ChatGPT. And I'll just jump forward on this one, where you can go into Claude, click on projects, and then similar to where you create a ChatGPT, where you write instructions and you give it a knowledge base, you can do the same with this sort of project thing. And this one, for instance, is saying government agencies helper. That's the GPT that it's creating, or the project that it's creating in Claude, and it's used to inform on government agencies. So that's, you can then, Claude will then build that information for you, and then you can start using that to query it about all sorts of government agencies. Here's, for instance, where you can upload some information files. Again, it's the same way as building a chatbot or building a GPT in ChatGPT. Let me just see. If you grab a couple of files that you've got with that information in it, you can drag that into your chatbot or your project, and then start asking it information and all of that sort of stuff. So I'm going to stop there. Yeah, so because I'd like to hear from you guys. Actually, before I do stop, never find the end. I just want to explain the membership to you guys, the ROI from AI membership. This is the website, ROI from AI.biz. Basically, if you go there and you join, you'll get a week access to all the weekly online meetings and the recordings of it for all the past meetings that we've had. I've also got a library of resources, so it's cheat sheets or templates or all sorts of documents and stuff that you can access on there. There really is hundreds of documents and things, from AI research to, like I said, cheat sheets and that sort of stuff, but also other, other people tutoring on tools and stuff. And then when we have courses and coaching, you'll be getting exclusive discounts. And then obviously you can join the Facebook group if you're part of this community, where we just share all the information, all the latest stuff that comes out. And now I really am finished. Any other questions?
The link on the chat, please, Quentin. Put the URL link on your chat.
Okay. For which one? For the website?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. Any other questions, comments? There must be some sort of, I gave you a lot of information. Now there has to be some questions.
We're trying to digest everything and understand it. We're drinking from the fire hose.
Is it every week, Gary? Every week?
Just when I want to start studying a program, then there's 24 more.
You don't have to, Gary. You can still choose your own.
We're drowning here, Quentin.
I'm trying to make it simple for you. All right, there's the link to the website if you want to go check it out. Great. Mr. O'Reilly, I haven't heard from you. Are you still walking? I think we lost Jason. Jason is actually an expert in cybersecurity. I met him at a conference.
I promise you didn't lose me. I was actually driving my car after I finished walking, so I was sitting in traffic, but all good.
All right, good. Yeah, Jason, anything that you picked up? Any concern about cybersecurity? I'm sure there's plenty.
No, sure. I mean, obviously, I think the biggest concern, when you look at what I see organizations struggling with from a privacy perspective and also from a data loss perspective, because there are so many breaches happening. The biggest concern is open versus closed. Your cybersecurity professionals are pretty clueless as to, how these large language models handle the data. Trust me, you have the privacy officers and lawyers running around with their opinions like you don't understand. And again, I think your cybersecurity professional is really nervous because nobody is helping them understand how large language models work, and then most importantly, on-prem versus cloud versus hybrid versus. So there's this community, I promise you, and then of course you've got my part of the world where We've actually got security providers now, including large language models, so you can query, what threat actors are doing in environments and how effective their technology is and all those kind of things. So, yeah, listen, the cybersecurity community is more nervous than life. So it's interesting to watch, and thank you for including me in this, because again, I mean, most people just know GPT or Chat GPT. I think it's a real outside of marketing, and I've heard there's a nice bunch of people with marketing and what they're trying to achieve, and obviously businesses taking advantage of it. The challenge cybersecurity professionals have is the business is gone. You guys have already decided what you're doing and how you create your efficiencies and look at your profitabilities and all that. Whereas the cyber professionals, we're just trying to figure out how we stop the cyber criminal, because they're the ones that are confusing everybody. So, but thank you for including me in this. I'm looking forward to learning.
And it's obviously the cybersecurity is trying to defend from their side, but the attackers are using AI from their side of point of view. So it's going to be quite the battle.
Yeah, look,
as well.
Yeah, look, and I think the reality is you must remember, in cybersecurity world, it's all about speed. It's all about, and I mean, this is why CrowdStrike, unfortunately, if anybody's using CrowdStrike in this forum, my apologies, but I think the challenge is, we're speaking to our customers, it's about, you've got to be in the best place possible to defend the organization. And obviously CrowdStrike in that case was right at the kernel level. So what effectively is being at the kernel level allows you to prevent the threat actor from doing something as quick as possible.
Yeah.
But we've now seen a downside to that. So don't get me wrong, we've taken a step back. But the whole point, I think, of this, and specifically with large language models coming into cybersecurity, is we have a huge skill shortage in our market. Again, everything's got to be specialization. So don't get me wrong, I'm an absolute evangelist of AI and large language models, because it takes away from all the mundane tasks. The problem is cybersecurity is still very much in its infancy when it comes to actually using that effectively and understanding, like the business, what it could benefit them. So no, it's a great place to be. And again, thank you again for including me.
Great. No, it's great to have you on board, and it's always cool on your perspective in the future. We'll hear more from you.
Thank you.
Good. Anybody else comments or questions?
Well, thanks.
You guys, okay, that's fine. Red one. You guys have got to give it to me. I keep to the time slot. I don't think I've ever gone over the 5. Oh, I have actually once, 5 minutes over. But anyway, thanks everybody for joining. And we'll see you guys next week when we'll digest some more large language models and go play with the tools, and let me know what you think.
Thank you so much. All right. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Bye-bye.
Thanks, Quentin. Cheers.
Thanks, Lauren. Bye.